I'm not going to rush any trades. Remember, guys, like I always say, we have a full day of trading. We're just getting started. There's no need, just because the market's open, just to start rushing into trades. If you don't see something that you like, then why would you force any trade in the market when you could wait for the setups that you like and find some higher probability setups, right? So that's what I'm going to be focusing on today, is finding some high probability setups with good risk management, not forcing ourselves in the market, but letting the trade come to us, right? Letting the trade come to us. Right, so we have that bearish breaker on multiple time frames. We have it on the 1 hour here. We have it on the 30-minute here. We have it on the 15. All right, so all those time frames, we see that breaker. So I would expect price to try to push up back into that, back up to this level, back around London low, try to push into this breaker on the hourly time frame. And then I would expect us to continue short, right? So that's pretty much what I'm looking at here. Let's look over here on ES. I'm going to kind of chart out my London, Asia highs on ES, highs and lows. All right, so we have our Asia high over here. Kind of overlaps with our London high. So over here on ES, it almost looks like we have all this liquidity resting above, right? It looks a little different than we see on NQ, because we have all these equal highs up here. Let's see, our Asia low is right here, but we have our London low down here, so I'm not even going to chart out. I'm not even going to chart out our Asia low over there because we already took it out. So our London low's here at 2:30 a.m. Same thing as NQ. So if we look at the hourly, we did still form this little breaker. We barely touched above that high, but we still have that breaker on the 1 hour. All right, so this lowest down close candle on the 1 hour. Right here. With that 4 hour imbalance, 1 hour imbalance above, not on the 4 hour actually, but on the 1 hour, we see that imbalance above. Up here. All right, so that 1 hour should be up here. All right, so like I said, it's looking like we're trying to push up at market open. We're trying to possibly come back up into this breaker up here. But we'll see, guys. Like I said, we have news coming out in about 17 minutes. So I don't want to force any trades, be caught in a trade before the news comes out and, end up getting caught in some volatility. You really want to wait for the right setup. We might even want to wait for news to play out before we hop in any trades. But yeah, so let's be patient. Look at those longs stepping in, right? Like I said, I want to see the long step in, market open, push up into this breaker, and then for us to see shorts step back in. So we're forming this bullish breaker here, actually, on a 5 minute and a 1 minute. So I chart out London low and high based off of our London kill zone, which the kill zone is from 2 a.m. Eastern to 5 a.m. Eastern. So technically London session doesn't actually close until like 11:30 Eastern. Right, so yeah, I think it's 11:30 Eastern. Maybe I might be getting that wrong. But our kill zone is from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern for our London. So that's what I chart out, our London highs and London lows. That's when that market shows the most volume, right? And those are the levels we want to look at. Okay, so we're forming this 5 minute. We just formed this 5 minute bullish breaker. right? So we might see longs continue. I expect longs to continue all the way up to that 15-minute breaker, the hourly breaker. But let's say we want to take the longs. Let's say we got an entry here. Our risk management might be a little tough. I mean, it wouldn't be too bad actually to take the longs here. Wouldn't be too bad. I might look to take them actually. Let's see if we get a reaction. I might take the longs up to our breaker above. You know what? I'm going to test out the longs here. I got an entry all the way up here, so not the best entry, but I like that rejection off the 5-minute breaker we saw. So I got an entry at 7.1. Just half a lot so far. And I'm just going to keep my stop just below this low, around 50 ticks. So, you know, it's not the best entry, but it's just kind of testing it out because of that reaction. But again, I'm not giving myself a lot of room to retrace into that breaker, so this is more of an aggressive entry here, just kind of testing out the market. Like I said, I like to test out the market with my first trade, kind of see how it's moving, see what my risk is going to look like. So 17.35850 is going to be my stop. You know, and just testing it out, right? Again, this is still more aggressive because we still have room to retrace back into that 5-minute, like I said. But I like that we touched down into it and we started to pump a little bit. So now I want to see if we can pump through this imbalance up to that, past that high, up to our 15-minute breaker. All right, so I would just take my first TP up at this high here. So if we can pump up to that high, I'll take my first TP up there. If you want to take more of a 1-to-1, right, around 50 ticks, remember I always tell you you can do that. Again, we're not getting that follow through. Like I said, more aggressive entry here because we still have a lot of room to retrace down into that breaker. So I understand if you want to stay out of it, you can definitely stay out of it. But I'm going to take that first TP if we break that high. But we're so volatile right now that it could be hard to find, you know, the right entry. It's hard to find the right entry. Again, we're moving a lot of ticks, so there's a possibility we get stopped out before that move actually happens, but I'm still testing it out here. Right, we're also forming this fair value gap down here, so we might actually even come back down, and after this 5-minute closes, we might come back down and try to fill that fair value gap, right, little unicorn setup before we pump. So we're at break even. If you guys want to get out of this, you can. I'm just going to let this one go. Right, I know my risk. I'm only in half a lot, so willing to take the loss here to try to catch something. I'm going to try to catch it up to this breaker. I'm about to get stopped out here. Let's see. I was very, very close to getting stopped out. That was like within the tick. I'll probably get stopped out here forming this 5-minute. I still like the longs up until that 15-minute breaker though. So we'll see what happens here. Like I said, we're probably going to form that fair value gap on the 5-minute. Okay, so I just got stopped out. We're probably going to form that fair value gap on the 5-minute here. I would not be surprised, right? So in about 1 minute and 10 seconds, if I still expect us to see a little bit of a bounce off this level, we'll see. We'll see. If we respect this 5-minute breaker, we will come up into that 15-minute. If we don't, then I'll look for shorts to continue for the rest of the day. But I'm expecting just a little bit of a move up right before that happens. Alright, so I'll probably wait for this 5-minute to close here. And like I said before, guys, it's hard to get our risk management really solid on days like today because of that volatility. So that's why I'm starting with half a lot on my trades, which I normally do that, but just kind of want to test it out before I go into anything heavy. Right, so my reasoning here is I like my reasoning here. I still think longs will try to step up and try to come up to that 15-minute. But we'll see what happens after this 5-minute closes. Because we got that displacement candle on the 5-minute here. Closing above, forming that breaker. So now we just have to see a reaction back to the upside if I'm going to get in. So I might test them out again. We'll see here if we get that reaction. We have about 10 minutes till news, so I would want to be out of a trade before news steps in. We'll see what happens. We're in that fair value gap. All right, I'm going to test them out one more time, half a lot again. Better entry, a little bit lower. 17,360.75 is my entry here. I'm going to keep like a 55 tick stop down below that low. And again, we're very volatile, so guys, if you don't want to take these entries, I understand. It's a little more risky. We could take that first TP if we break this high up here. You guys have to understand that this is more risky trading this market right now. So don't be trading it if you're not comfortable with taking the risk. Right? Don't trade it if you're not comfortable with taking this risk. Right? Because I already might get stopped out here. Like I said, it's very volatile. It's harder to get the right entries, but I still expect these longs to step in. I'm going to take my first TP if we break that high. I mean, we've already hit a 1-to-1. Pretty sure we've already hit a 1-to-1 here. We're close to a 1-to-1. We hit like 47 ticks. So if you guys want to take your TP at a 1-to-1, you could take that TP. So the price action looks good, guys, but like I said, when we're very volatile, it's harder to... Sometimes we come back down, we stop us out before that move happens. So like we're doing right now, we're just not seeing that follow through happen. Still seeing that volatility, that up and down movement. Yeah, I don't really like that 5-minute candle. Might get stopped out. So, all right, I'm out. So what I'm gonna do now is, since I tested this out, we didn't really see the follow through happen. I'll probably wait until after this news to come out to take any more trades, just because of this volatility we're seeing. A big increase in volatility. So I might just wait. I mean, I still, you know, that's the tough thing about these trades, guys, is I had a 55 tick stop and I still, you know, and we still chopped back down to try and stop me out, right? We still chopped down and stopped me out. I had a way better entry than last time. Yeah, there you go. You caught that scalp. Yeah, I mean, so you could have still scalped it, but I wanted to hold that trade through. Alright, so I just don't like how this 5-minute candle is forming. Alright, like, I don't like that we wicked up here, came all the way back down. But we still have that 5-minute imbalance here that we're respecting. Just so much volatility here, as expected, right? And that's why I let you guys know of the risk that you would have to take, right? You have to be willing to, you know, if you're gonna trade today, you have to understand the risk that you're putting into the market, right? You have to understand that your stop losses are gonna be much harder. Your entries are gonna have to be pretty much perfect, right? And sometimes even when they are perfect, they still get stopped out, right? So I'm still expecting the longs to step in. I just don't know if I want to get a re-entry here. We'll see. We're just kind of chopping a little bit right now in that 1-minute time frame. But we did get a strong bounce off that 5-minute fair value gap here. So I still like these longs, but I don't know if I'm going to want to get a re-entry right now. So I'm kind of just watching, you know, and this trade might play out, the longs might play out, and, you know, if I miss it, oh well. I still had the right idea, but I'm not going to overtrade and try to keep getting more entries. All right, I already took 2 losses with half a lot, so I'm going to kind of wait back, let the volatility die down, especially because we have news coming out in about 6 minutes, about 5 minutes and 10 seconds. I think it's better to kind of wait out the news, wait out that volatility, see what happens. I mean, that was a good close on that 5 minute. That was a really good close on that 5 minute. But still, we're still chopping on that 1 minute time frame. You can see. You can see how much we're chopping on this 1 minute time frame. Look at how much we're going up and down, up and down, up and down. All right, so I think at this point we just be patient. All right, like I said, overall today I want to see shorts in the market. My bias for the day is short, but I wanted to see after we displaced to the upside, forming that bullish breaker, I wanted to see us try to come up to that 15 minute and hourly bearish breaker to act as resistance to take us back down. Yeah, we have news in 5 minutes, so I'm not going to take any more trades until after the news comes out, after we kind of settle down a little bit. Right, look how we're chopping before the news right now. Right, we're just kind of setting up for that news to come out. And we'll see if we do end up breaking below. Right, if we do end up breaking below and displacing, we'll have that bearish breaker set up. You know, we could get an entry in the shorts. My ideal entry in the shorts would have been, like I said, up here, up in this fair value gap, up in this breaker. But you know, we might not even get up there. We might end up dropping. So we're gonna see what happens here. We'll see what the news does, if it pushes us down, if it brings us up. We'll see if this is a little AMD. This is a little fake out, taking us back up to the upside, or if we're really just gonna drop from here. But you guys understand that I went in half a lot, right? I went in half a lot in both of those trades, and I still had the same risk that I have on any normal day. Right, so as long as, if you're gonna trade a day like this, you still have to be able to keep that discipline with that risk and not overtrade. Right? This is the kind of day that will eat your account up if you don't focus on your risk management and if you overtrade. Yeah, it's looking like we're getting that AMD accumulation, manipulation. See if we get that distribution now. Again, I'm not going to take any trades until after the news. Yeah, I want to see what happens. I want to just see what happens, kind of read the market. Because the news will, you know, it'll be very high volatility, but it will probably offer us with what our direction is going to be. And it'll accelerate us to that level. Right? But if we trade the news, guys, you're going to get, you know, plenty of times you'll get caught in these trades where you do not have good risk management. And you end up getting stopped out within seconds. All right, so we're getting that AMD here, like I said, that accumulation, manipulation, and you know, let's see if we get that distribution. If we look at the 5 minute, look how we still respected that breaker. We still respected that fair value gap. All right, like I said, still wanted to see those longs come in. All right, so our analysis so far is looking like it's correct. It's looking like it's correct. So yeah, we're gonna see what happens. We've got a few more minutes, or 1 more minute until news. 40 seconds. I definitely would try and stay out of this stuff. But definitely try to stay out of the news. I'm not going to be trading the news personally. But look at that 5 minute time frame. Look at that wick down. Look at that accumulation, manipulation, distribution, respecting our 5 minute unicorn model. All right, but again, news could really just get rid of any of our normal price action, right? It's just going to do its own thing. It could just do its own thing. So that's why I stay out of the market. So we have news now. We have our news coming out now. I think the longs, could step in, but it just depends. Just depends. If it's going to be anything like our past news this week, we will probably dump. But if we're going to stick to our price action, maybe we'll go up and manipulate up first. So we'll see what happens here. Patience, patience, patience. Patience, patience, no FOMO. Don't get FOMO during this, guys. So the worst thing you could do is get FOMO and try to keep taking trades during this stuff. Because you're going to be feeling great about a trade, and then we're just going to get a volume spike, and then you're going to get stopped out. Alright, and especially if the trade ends up going your way after that, then you're going to be really upset. See how that hourly closed. Long wick down on that hourly, but still a bearish candle. $15-minute, we're forming this order block like I talked about earlier. So if we do end up dropping, displacing this order block, right, this will be a strong point of resistance here in the future. So let's see what happens here. I'm just still kind of waiting on this 5-minute time frame, right? Want to see what this 5-minute does. Again, if we come down and we still respect this fair value gap, we might really pump for the longs. News came out positive. Okay, so if news came out positive and we're respecting this bullish breaker, we might still go long. Right, but it's just hard to get that risk management correct with high volatility, so I'm not going to take a trade while this news just came out. We're still going to have a lot of opportunity throughout the day to take trades, so right, I already took a few losses with half a lot, so I'm going to wait for a really good setup if I'm going to take another trade. Got 2 minutes left on this 5-minute. No, we are not in any trade right now. We just had news come out, so we're just kind of watching here. We're just watching and waiting. Sit and watch and waiting. We're not doing much still, guys. We're not really doing much. Okay, so there's those longs. Right, so I'm expecting, like I said, if we respect this breaker and we respect this imbalance, I'm expecting longs to step in, right? To push us up. My morning analysis is that we start by pushing up, trying to get into that 15-minute, and then we dump. But again, we'll see. We will see. How much trading days required to pass 100K count if we go on micro 6 cons? Well, that just depends. It could take a few days and it could take a few weeks. It just depends how many wins you're taking, how many losses you're taking. Okay, guys, there's that move I was talking about off that 5-minute breaker. All right, so I'm not getting in now. I'm not going to chase this, but I wanted to see this happen, right? So even with news, we're still respecting our price action levels here. Technical analysis, 5-minute unicorn model. So here's the deal. If we wanted to go long, we would have to see displacement on the 5-minute candle up above these highs, right? And then maybe some more retracement back down to catch long up into that 15-minute. But if I don't see that displacement, I'm not going to get in long. Alright, I'm still expecting these longs to step in. Well, let's see. We're not getting that follow through on this 5-minute. See what happens though. The 5-minute just opened. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to get really aggressive, you could have taken the longs from down here. All right, but like I said, I'm not going to encourage trading news, right? Especially with this crazy volatility. Like, if you're experienced, you can still trade news and catch really good setups. But if you're not, you could really get chopped up. Yeah, guys. Well, all I care about, I'm not getting FOMO. All I care about is that our analysis so far has been on point, right? So now what I'm expecting, if we can displace, right? I want to see that 5-minute candle displace above this high. If it can't, well, then we're not showing a lot of strength to the upside. If we can't displace, we're not showing enough strength for me to be confident in the longs here. All right, look at that pullback we just had. So we'll see. But if we end up displacing up here, then I would expect longs to try to come up into this breaker up here, back up to London low, and then I would want to see us dump from there. All right, so that's what I'm looking at today. That's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm waiting for. There it goes. So we're trying to displace here. We'll see. We still have VWAP above. We still have some imbalances above. Like this 5-minute imbalance up here, we're going to have to push through if the longs want to keep stepping in. Right here. All right, 5-minute order block with an imbalance, strong level of resistance. Right, we're seeing that reaction off of that level right now. Look at that strong reaction off that 5-minute imbalance, 5-minute order block. All right, so if the longs are really going to push up, they're going to have to push through some difficult levels. Okay, we got about 1 minute and 15 seconds left on this 5-minute candle. So seeing that reaction off that 5-minute imbalance and order block, very strong reaction. I'm interested to see how this 5-minute closes. Very interested to see how this 5-minute candle closes. It could tell us a lot about what's going to happen next. Remember, guys, I love looking at the 5 and the 15-minute candles. 5 and 15-minute really tell us a lot about this market. If you're taking every trade based off of the 1 minute, you're gonna get chopped up a lot, right? You can I still use the 1 minute for entries and exits and stuff, but this 5 and 15-minute, this helps us actually understand what the market is doing and helps us get not get faked out as much as like if we would with watching the 1 minute. Okay, so we have about 15 seconds left on this 5-minute. It's not looking like we're going to displace here. We'll see. Okay, so we didn't get full displacement on this, but we still could pump up from here. There it goes. There it goes. All right, so it's trying to push through this 5 minute imbalance, this 5 minute order block, and it's really failing, right? It's really failing. It's really failing to do so. Yeah, I mean, guys, if you just look at this stuff, though, like, look at this 1 minute time frame and tell me if this is something you really want to trade. All right, like, the only real opportunity here was if you got a perfect entry off of this imbalance on the 5 minute and caught the longs there. But you'd have had to get a perfect entry because of how much we were chopping and all of that, right? So, I mean, the longs are still there. The longs are definitely an opportunity, but it's just so high volatility that it's hard, right? We tried to catch the longs twice and got chopped up. Okay, so we're trying to fill this whole thing. Okay, so now we're seeing that follow through. Our analysis is there. Let's see if we bounce off VWAP or if we push right through. We got another 5 minute order block up top. Yeah, it looks like we want to push through up into this breaker. Okay, so now this is that level I was talking about. So we have the hourly breaker. We have this 15-minute breaker. Right here. Lowest down close candle here. Right, so high, low, higher, high here on the 15-minute. Use that Fibonacci. First standard deviation is right around this low. Alright, so now I would want to see us get a strong reaction off this fair value gap, off this breaker for me to start to look to go short. But I'm not going to look to go short when we are extremely bullish. Right, I'd want to see us really get a reaction first. And start to move back down, right? Especially with this volatility. I don't even know if I want to get in a trade right now. We're gonna see. But you guys can see, I'm sure a lot of you have been trying to take a bunch of trades, and I don't know, maybe you're winning, maybe you're getting stopped out, but you're definitely finding out that this volatility is not a lot of fun to trade in. Alright, but those longs were nice. If we caught it, if we waited a little bit, I wasn't going to wait because of the news, but our analysis is on point. We had that 5 minute unicorn, played out perfectly. Just didn't catch the right timing because I was trying to catch it before the news. Alright, so that's how it goes. So now we're touching into that breaker, into that unicorn setup here. But we still have about a minute left on this 15-minute candle, minute 15 seconds. So I want to wait and see what kind of reaction we get. Look at that hourly. The hourly touched into that breaker as well. But I would expect us to try to push into that a little bit, right? At least push into that a little bit. We'll see if we do. Look at that pullback we're getting, though. So we'll see. We got about 30 seconds left on this 15-minute and 5-minute candle. Right, we're going to show, we're obviously closing very strong to the upside. So I'm not going to try to short this market right now until I saw actually something very clear back to the downside. All right, but this is that level I called out before. This is that level I wanted to short from. All right, so close on the 15. We see that resistance here, but we're looking so bullish off that news, especially since news came out positive. We're going to have to see a very strong reaction off this level. Like I said, right, we're seeing all bullish candles, so would need to see something very clear for me to really actually want to short this, especially because if I say I got an entry right when we entered this breaker and wanted to just hold it, I can't do that because my stop's going to be over 100 ticks. So I'm not going to do that, right? Especially with bullish momentum, I'm not going to do that. I can't have a 100 tick stop. That's not what I do. Right? So I'd want to see a reaction like that, but you know, also start to see that follow through happen. You know, that's a good reaction, but I think I would still wait for extra confirmation on a trade like this before I tried to short it, just because of all that bullish momentum we see. It would not be the smartest decision to try to reverse this, right? Until we got that confirmation that the shorts were coming in. Right? Even though I do feel like we're gonna get a reaction off this level, doesn't mean I'm just gonna hop in the shorts without, you know, waiting for that confirmation that they're actually going to step in, right? Because I'm not just going to get in the short entry here when longs are still pumping, when my stop would have to be 100 ticks plus. That's not the way I trade. Got to have that risk management down, right? Especially because, guys, we still have the rest of the day ahead of us. My account is not down very much. Right? I'm not down very much at all. So like I still have a lot of room to trade, but if I try to force entries in this high volatility market, then that's going to end up making me, you know, there's a possibility that I would hit that drawdown a lot quicker, and then I wouldn't be able to trade this account for the rest of the day because I hit, you know, if I were to hit my daily drawdown that I don't want to hit on my account. Right, or my daily loss limit, I mean. So I want to wait. I want to wait. It's only 7:17 Pacific time. We've got a whole day ahead of us. You know, so that's why I'm not forcing any trades right now. Hey, let's go, Johnny. You passed your top step combine 1 week. Good stuff, dude. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Hey, you better send that to our funded certificate page. Once you get the certificate. Good stuff though. That's awesome. That is awesome. And good discipline, man. I know yesterday you could have kept trading, but you decided to stop trading because you wanted to, you know, focus on keeping your discipline and not over trading that account, and look what happened. You got rewarded because of it. Okay, longs are really trying to pump through this level still. I guess it's that news, guys. I think that positive news is trying to push us up even more. So, you know, this is why you see me waiting. So I'm not really rushing to get into anything right now. We just touched into that 5-minute bearish for value gap up here. Starting to see a little bit of a reaction, but guys, this bullish structure is still very strong. But I still don't want to long while we're in this 15-minute bearish breaker unicorn. Right, if we were to come up and displace that 15-minute, you know, close above up here, then that's when I would start to look for longs after pullback. But I'm not going to try to get into the longs right now, right, until we actually saw a breaker structure, because I still expect shorts to come back in. I mean, look at that reaction we just got on the 5-minute. That's a good reaction off of that imbalance up here. All right, so 5-minute closed. 5-minute close, pretty nice, but it's still bullish. Still bullish. Man, I knew we were going to pump, but I didn't think we were going to pump this much. I didn't think we were going to try to pump through this level. Yeah, I mean that long was nice. If we timed it right, if I traded the news, it would have been fine. But I wasn't going to do that. But our idea was there, right? Our analysis so far has been pretty accurate. We just, price wanted to manipulate until that news came out before it pumped, which is understandable. I wanted to see if it would pump before that news came out. Just didn't want to do that. So guys, here's the deal now. Looking at this 1 minute time frame is going to help us. So if we start to drop here, and say we displace this low and get a break of structure, maybe close below VWAP, that's when I would start to think about shorting. But until that happens, I'm not going to short. I mean, this is why. This is why. Just a lot of manipulation moves. A lot of manipulation moves. I need to see a break of structure before I'm going to get in the shorts. Alright, so I need to see us close below this 1 minute order block here. Possibly close below VWAP, and then, maybe get some pullback, some retracement for us to take short. 2 minute, yeah, we've got some imbalances here. 5 minute as well. We have this 5 minute bullish fair value gap down here. So, we still got 8 minutes left on our 15-minute candle, but as long as I would like to see it start dropping from here, respecting this breaker and this unicorn. If we can start dropping and we can break structure, that's when I'll start to get in the shorts. Alright, but not until that happens. Not until that happens. I do like that we're getting that rejection off this level, but as you can see, we keep trying to push through. Yeah, we are respecting that consequent encroachment level, but I want to see us close below that consequent encroachment level, right? That equilibrium. And if we start to drop, that's what will happen. Right, so just waiting for that, because we're not trying to do that yet. We keep trying to push back up. Patience, patience, patience. We're going to keep having patience. Remember, we still have this fair value gap above. All right, we touched into it, but we could still try to fill that a little bit more before dropping. But I would like this 15-minute to respect this level. So I'm just kind of waiting for that that drop to happen, right? If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But that's the setup I'm looking for right now. That's what I'm waiting for. And if, let's say we do keep pumping. If we do keep pumping through these levels, then I would expect us to try and come fill our volume gaps all the way up here, right? To try to keep pumping. That's what I would expect from there. If we continue to push through these resistance levels, that's what I would expect. So then I would start looking for longs, right? If we were to push through all these levels, I would start looking for longs. Yeah, but I want to wait and see if we get that rejection here, or if we do pump through. Boom, 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 boom. So did anybody end up taking the long? Is anybody risky? Is anybody really aggressive? Only on eval, yep. Okay, so we got some people that were a little risky here. A little risky. Well, the risk to the reward paid off there, if you didn't get stopped out. But again, like I said, I wasn't gonna trade the news. Morning, JB. Well, I mean, Martin, it's not super ambitious if we close above this breaker and continue this bullish trend, then I would expect us to go to London high, right? If we keep pushing through these bearish levels, I would expect us to pump all the way to London high. But that's what I'm waiting for, to see if we do close above this breaker, this unicorn, or to see if we respect it. All right, that's going to tell me a lot. Indeed, it has. It has been. So, I mean, we've called it out. We've expected, what's going to happen. But we didn't trade during the news. It's 15-minute here. I'm just waiting to see what happens on this 15-minute. Just waiting to see. We're slowly trying to push through it. We're slowly trying to push through it. Alright, we're kind of accumulating up here. So when we see this accumulation, guys, we always expect after either a manipulation and then an expansion, or just an expansion after, right? So we accumulate, we wait for that move to happen. I'm not going to take a trade while we're accumulating. I'm going to wait for that move. I'm going to wait for that break of structure back to the downside. Wait and see if this 15-minute respects our level. Okay, we're starting to see that break. We need to see a break of structure, though. If we can push through this order block here, take out that low, that would be good for the shorts. All right, if we can take out this low, that would be good for the shorts, because then our 15-minute would close down below our consequent encroachment level, our equilibrium here on the 15-minute unicorn. But we're still accumulating right now. Still accumulating. Okay, every time it tries to push through, it fails. So let's see if it can actually push through. Notice how every time we try to pump through, we fail and we come back down. This is accumulation. So we've got about 1 minute left on this 15-minute time frame. We need to see that drop happen in this next minute. We need to see that drop start to happen now. If not, I think longs will continue to step in. So, I mean, we're still respecting that hourly. Obviously, this hourly bearish unicorn is still being respected. So if we break structure, we get pullback, that's when I want to start to look for shorts. All right, if we take out these lows, we retrace back into them, that's when I would start looking for shorts. But I would have to see that happen before I do that. Alright, so our 15-minute close inside again. Decent close, not as, you know, it's closed above our 50%, which I didn't want to see. 30 minutes still respected our breaker. Okay, so now we're getting that breaker structure. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens. Alright, we're still on. We have to displace this low. If we're going to get that breaker structure, we have to displace this low. Alright, we have this 5-minute bullish fair value gap down here we'd have to push through. So we still have a lot of levels that could push us back up, especially if this is just a manipulation move. But again, I still don't want to long while we're in this bearish, strong bearish level. That's the thing that's keeping me from longing, right? But the trend still is long. Our structure still is bullish. So you could still long. Like, let's say this 5-minute. Let's say we don't push down, and let's say we push up on this 5-minute time frame. And let's say we close above this order block here on the 5-minute. Maybe I would start to look for longs off that order block. But again, guys, we're kind of just caught in between our levels where our structure is bullish, but we still have all of these bearish resistance levels that could take us back down, right? So that's why you don't really see me hopping into any more trades right now, because I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to see what happens. Waiting to see if we break structure to the downside. Waiting to see if we displace to the upside. Not getting in during the accumulation. We have big SMT here. Look at ES taking out the high up here. Look at that. And now we start to see a little drop. Look at that. ES takes out the high. NQ fails. Bounces off VWAP up here on ES. Takes out liquidity. So that would be a confluence there. That's a confluence for the shorts there. That is a strong confluence for the shorts, but now I need to see that breaker structure first. Need to see that breaker structure. Alright, so we got that breaker structure. We have a little breaker. We have a bearish breaker on the 1-minute. High, low, higher, high here. Alright. So we have that breaker. We have overlapping the 15-minute breaker. So now I'm starting to get that confluence. Now I would wait for pullback. I would wait for pullback to take it back short. I'm not going to chase an overextended, you know, I'm not going to try to chase the shorts just because they're dropping. Look at this bullish fair value gap we're going to have to push through. Alright, that's a strong drop though. That's a strong displacement move there. Very strong displacement move. Alright, so our analysis so far is playing out to the T with pretty much everything we've talked about. But it's just about getting the entries now. I'm obviously not going to chase price when we're all the way down here. And I told you I wasn't going to trade until we broke structure and then retraced. So you're not going to see me hop in the shorts now, even though they're dumping. Why would I get in down here when we could easily pump back up to fill a fair value gap? Look at that dump. Man, I'm just happy that our analysis has been pretty much 100% so far. And now it's just about pushing through this bullish level, this bullish fair value gap. Yeah, we're not getting any pullback right now, guys. Yes, I can share my shorts. Okay, now we're starting to see a little pullback. We have a 5-minute inverse right here. Could be a level to enter off of. Kind of looking at the 1 minute. I want to see us come back up to this 1 minute fair value gap up here. We also have a 2 minute that we're forming. Kind of looking at this 1 minute fair value gap here. Right, it's still hard to get our risks right because look at this. Even this one candle right here is over 100 ticks. Right, so I'd want to see us try to push up a little bit. We have VWAP right here, so we might see rejection here. Let's see, guys. Remember, we have to be careful with this 15-minute bullish fair value gap. Look at that pullback on the 15-minute. But we still have 9 minutes left, so I still think we could drop. But I want to see us come up to this fair value gap first, get a rejection, look to go in short. Good morning. What's up, Danny? Welcome, welcome, welcome. How we doing? Okay, guys, so I'm waiting for us to pull back a little bit into this fair value gap. We just formed that 2 minute fair value gap. You know, we might not even pull back into that. We might keep dropping, but this 5 minute looks like we're going to keep dropping off this inverse here. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Hey, you weren't supposed to tell him that, Danny. Limits are set. There we go. No, I'm not looking to long after this break of structure. I'm not looking to long after this break of structure because my bias on the day is still short. I'm just kind of waiting to see if we pump back up a little bit into that fair value gap and drop. We're forming this 1 minute order block here. So we'll see. Guys, my ideal trade would have been if we would have broken structure, retraced back into this breaker, and then dropped. I would have taken that short, but we just didn't really give us the chance. Okay, now we're pumping back up into that fair value gap. Let's see if we can move up into it. Remember, we have VWAP here, so we might see a little rejection. But whenever we create equal highs right below fair value gap, I expect price to pump back up into that fair value gap to grab those equal highs and then drop. Yeah, so I mean, my bias is short overall today, but we formed on the 5 minute. JB, we formed this bullish breaker, and then news came out positive, so I expected us to pump us up to this 15 minute, but now I expect us to drop. We'll see. This 15 minutes really respecting this fair value gap here. So we're going to see what happens. Okay, we touched into that. Now I want to see a reaction back to the downside before I enter in any shorts. Need to see a reaction off this level before I enter. I want to see if we're going to push up into that a little bit. Close below VWAP maybe. Okay, I just got an entry in the shorts there, guys. I just got an entry. Just got an entry in the shorts. 17,397.50. 17,397.50 off that fair value gap. I'm going to keep my stop about 50 ticks above to that consequent encroachment level of that 1 minute fair value gap. First TP, I'll take probably at this low and then hold down into that 5 minute. Again, guys, it's still very volatile, so be careful with your stop. Make sure you have the right risk management here. If we break this low, I'll take my first TP. About 80 ticks. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. Take it out. Take it out. Boom. First TP just got hit already. I'm moving my stop to break even now, guys. First TP got taken. I'm moving my stop to break even. And now I'm holding down into this 5 minute. Now I'm holding down into this 5 minute to see if we can push through. But I think that we could push all the way through this 5 minute, guys, if we keep going. We formed this 5 minute order block here. I think we have potential to try to push through that 5 minute breaker. So I'm still holding. But that first TP just got smacked. 80 ticks. There we go. There we go. There we go. So I might take full TP if we drop into this 5 minute. Or I'll try to keep holding it and just move my stop into profit. We'll see what happens. You guys could take full TP already if you want. We just hit 123 ticks. We just hit 123 ticks. So if you guys want to take your full TP, you can take it. Alright, I'm going to continue to hold because we have so much bearish momentum now. Look at that bounce off that 1 minute. We got the perfect entry here. I want to keep holding, try to see if we're going to push through this 5 minute. I mean, look at that 5 minute. Look at the 15 minute, guys. Look at that 15 minute. That was the ideal setup here. Okay, 5 minute just entered into the bearish or the bullish breaker, but I think we could push through. I'm going to hold down at least until the fair value gap down here on the 5 minute. And I'm going to bring my stop into profit now. I'm going to bring my stop into profit all the way down to 8.2. All the way down to 17.382. You know, I might even just get fully out. We'll see. If we start to pump a little bit, I'll just get fully out, honestly. But I see so much potential for us to try to push through this level now. But look at this reaction. I'm just gonna get fully out. I got fully out, and if we retrace, I'll look for a re-entry. If we retrace, I'll look for a re-entry here. But guys, we just caught 161 ticks on that. 161 ticks. I just wanted to take my profit, and if we retrace, you know, I'll get another entry. But again, guys, we had that 5 minute. The reason I got out is because of that bounce we see off the 5 minute bullish breaker here. And look at that bounce. Look at that bounce. That's why I got out. Alright, this is what patience does for us. We waited all this time for that trade to set up, and we executed. Awesome trade there, guys. 160 ticks there. 160 ticks. So now we are in the green. We're in the green on the day. Perfect. We got a perfect exit too. Look at that bounce. Look at that bounce right when we exit. Right when we exit, guys. That is a perfect exit. Perfect exit. P&L. So I was down 600 before that, and now I'm up about 365. Right, so pretty solid comeback there. I'm in the green. Pretty happy with that. So the 5 minute, look at that bounce. Wow. We got out. Perfect timing. So 5 minute breaker. Look at this low, high, lower, low. This is where we pumped from before at news. This is where we pumped from at news. And then we caught that perfect trade. Look at how we broke structure. We formed a fair value gap right under VWAP. We touched on that fair value gap. We take the short back down into that support level. We sell at the support level, and now we're out. Yes, exactly. So AZ Sunshine, to answer your question, I was in heavier. My full lot was going to be more on my first two trades, and then I decided to scale down because of our volatility on this trade. So I scaled down to a lesser full position, but I still made all my losses back, and now I'm in profit. Yeah, the price action is tricky, and that's like I said, guys. We have to get perfect entries, right? So that entry was perfect timing. We were able to catch it at the perfect time, get out for 160 ticks, and now we're good. Now we're good. Look at that 15. Look how that 15-minute came right back up. Yeah, I'm glad we took our profit there on that one. Glad we didn't try to let that one run. Awesome trade though, guys. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to take any more, probably not take any more trades for now. I think what I'll do is, let this crazy market play out. I still have a bias in the shorts, but now the next level I'd want to see taken out is this 5-minute breaker. If we can take out this 5-minute breaker, I'll start looking for shorts again in a little bit. But seeing that bounce off the breaker, I want to kind of wait. I want to wait for that confirmation, right? Like I said, I'm still biased to the shorts overall, but we didn't get that fall through. We really got a strong bounce from that level. So now I'll probably wait. Right, but once this 5 minutes taken out and we get, another entry model, I'll start to go short again. Right, and I'll call it out if I do look for shorts. But just take care of those accounts today, guys. There's no reason to overtrade on a day like today. So the 5-minute breaker is all of this candle pattern right here. It's a unicorn actually. So we form this low right here. We form a high, and then we form a lower low, and then we pump through and displace that high, leaving a breakaway fair value gap. We trade into that fair value gap, and then we pump. So that's a unicorn model right there. One of my favorite models to trade, and that's what I called out before the news happened. That's what we were trying to catch before the news happened. We were trying to catch those longs, but we got stopped out because we couldn't time it right. So then the news happened. We pumped up into our 15-minute and hourly. Look at this hourly. Guys, the hourly time frame still tells me we're going down, right? Look at that wick up all the way back down. We form a high, a low, a higher high, a displacement candle, unicorn model on the 1 hour. Right? Look at that. We come back down. 15-minute. A high, a low, a higher high, displacement candle, 15-minute unicorn model, and we drop. So bullish is low, high, lower, low. Exactly. Then displacement to the high. 100%. Yep. Alright, so like I said, I still expect shorts to come back in, but now I would wait for this bullish breaker unicorn to get disrespected first. And if we can push through this level, I'll start looking for more shorts later in the day, maybe before our prop firm session. I'll let you know. But yeah, guys, that was a great day. Great patience. This has been kind of a theme this week where, I'll take a few losses to start kind of feeling out the market. Then we stay patient, we wait for the right setup, we come back, take a really good winning trade in the day green, right? So let's keep that momentum going. I'll keep you guys updated. Okay, let me figure that. I might have to change my settings and I'll resend my charts out to the group. Yeah, guys, so let's take care of those accounts. Don't overtrade. Don't, do anything dumb in this high volatility market. Keep that risk management plan. Okay, I'll let you know if I'm going to take any setups. I'll call them out for you. And then, all right, Bam Bam, I'll check it out. And then we'll be back. If you don't hear from me until then, we'll be back for our prop firm session at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right, guys, great job today. Great patience, great discipline. And I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.